The information shared on LightBody Radio is for educational and informational purposes only. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician, licensed healthcare provider, or qualified wellness practitioner with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or health goal. Dr. Lara May, her guests, and affiliates do not claim to cure, prevent, or treat any condition and are not responsible for any actions taken based on the information shared in this podcast. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge that you are responsible for your own health decisions and that any actions you take based on the content are at your own discretion and risk. Thank you for tuning in to LightBody Radio.
Welcome to LightBody Radio, where science meets soul and healing gets multidimensional. I am your host, Dr. Lara May, functional medicine pharmacist, master intuitive Reiki channel, and certified life and health coach. Here we decode root causes, transmute stuck energy, and empower your full spectrum healing journey, body, mind, and light body. This isn't just wellness, it's awakening, grounded in science, guided by spirit, and designed for your evolution. Let's rise and radiate. Welcome to the next level of you. Hello and welcome to LightBody Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Lara May, and today we have with us a new dynamic that we don't normally have, but I actually have two guests on with me today. So it is, sorry, I just want to make sure I have all this like in alignment. So it's Will Rodriguez and Karen Endsley. Welcome.
Thank you. They have this fantastic platform that started with the skeptic metaphysicians and is now moving into a platform they're building called New Reality TV, which we'll get into. We'll get into all that. But first, I want to introduce you to Will. He is the Carlos Castaneda kid, as he likes to call himself, turned conscious curator. I like that. And so the podcast host who swapped existential breakdowns for spiritual breakthroughs. He was raised Catholic, reborn curious, and he now leads seekers and skeptics alike down a rabbit hole of mysticism, which I love, esoteric knowledge, energy healing, near-death experiences. It sounds like all the fascinating things, all while dropping sound effects cues like a metaphysical DJ. So I love this. Wow, when you read it out loud, it sounds so presumptuous, though. I don't know.
And he is with Karen Endsley, and Karen brings the balance. So whether it's keeping the show flowing smoothly or offering the perfect or affirmations at just the right moment, she vibes with both the guest and the audience effortlessly. The Earth Angel with a mic and killer side eye. I love that. She channels love, balance, and heart healing energy, but don't mistake her halo for a pushover. She will no doubt call out the BS and anything else that needs to come up. She'll just say it. So she's the divine feminine frequency of the skeptics, metaphysicians. Am I saying that right? Yeah. The intuitive who sees the truth beneath the truth. And the listener's soul sister whispering, so it's okay to not know, and we're all figuring it out together. So I'm going to stop there because I feel like that's a lot, and I love it all. But I want you guys to speak for yourselves and to really, give us the story behind this dynamic duo.
Ladies first.
Oh, no. I think you started this whole
don't go blaming me.
Dealio. So I think you should start.
Okay. Well, my name is Will, and I'm a metaphysiholic, right? Is that
yes?
I am. So when you mentioned Carlos Castaneda kid, because my journey started with my mom being
reading all the Carlos Castaneda books when I was a kid. And at one point I stumbled on them and I started they had really pretty covers. So I started thumbing through them and my mom freaked out. It's like, no, you're not ready for those yet. So of course, as soon as I was old enough, or as far as I deemed was old enough, first thing I did was go and I got all the Carlos Castaneda books and read them all. And that opened up my world like you would not believe. I started doing all the kinds of research into all different modalities, from healing practices. I joined a coven for a while. I mean, anything that was esoteric, I wanted to learn about. And then life got in the way, and those things from our childhoods are forgotten, and started a family. And then, like a lot of people during COVID, had an existential crisis. I looked at myself in the mirror. I did not like who I was at all, and ended up going to therapy to try to wrap my head around this true existential. I had to leave work. I wasn't functional. The therapist I was lucky enough to find turned me on to meditation right away. And when I started meditating, that then started asking even deeper questions. And then I remembered my time back in the day where I was researching all these things. So I started going down the path of, well, who am I? Why are we here? What's the purpose of this? What are we really? And I picked up a book that I had carried around with me for a very long time called Conversations with God. And it changed everything. And then I started reading passages of the book and recording my thoughts into my phone, and then putting those out as my way of putting out affirmations into the universe, like this is what I want kind of thing. But then the problem is they were getting so personal, like so personal, that it came to the point where it was going to involve other people. So I stopped. I took them down and instead reached out to those people that I knew back in my younger days when I was researching all these things. And I said, hey, can we just connect and have a conversation about X topic? And that became the Skeptic Metaphysicians, because I've always wanted to believe, but I was raised in an area of the country that a lot of people were trying to swindle you. So you had to prove it, right? I had to feel it, had to touch it, I couldn't just believe anything just because someone said something. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was skeptical, but not cynical. So I was a skeptic, but I was also a metaphysician because I was practicing meditation and Reiki healing and all these kinds of things. So I put the two together, and that was the birth of the show. And a little bit later came Karen.
You roped me in.
I did. I totally did.
You totally did.
Yeah.
You did. Yeah, my story is much shorter. Because
she's saying thank God.
I know, right? Jeez, I only got an hour now. Okay. No, I didn't really go through a big change. I didn't ever not necessarily believe in it. I wasn't raised talking about this sort of stuff, but I also wasn't raised not talking about this sort of stuff. It was just kind of, I guess I didn't really talk about it because I just thought it was normal. You know, it's not like you're like, oh, hey, my jeans feel like this today, because that's just how your jeans feel. You don't really talk about it. You know, so I didn't really think that it was anything different. I had different experiences. I had dreams, people communicating in my dreams through me. And I just felt like it just was, that's how everyone was. I just assumed that's how everyone was. So, yeah, so I was never really, I didn't have a big kind of moment of change like Will did. But when he started the podcast, he was really, he was doing it kind of for himself. And then I joined him from time to time, and it became fun. And we decided that I would stick with it. But it got to the point where, you know how much work a podcast is. And it was taking so much time away from our family that we thought, okay, you've gotten the therapeutic effect that you really needed from this. It's time to sunset it, and let's kind of move forward in our regular life. So before we did that, we decided to see, is anybody ever even listening to this
we
podcast?
Meaning she.
So I Googled it, and I found, we didn't know anything about podcasts, really. You put it out there and that was it. But I didn't know that they collected reviews. And so we found, I don't know, it's Apple Podcasts or something,
yeah.
All of these pages, like pages after page of reviews that people had taken time to write paragraphs about our little show, and they were great. They were mostly 5-star reviews. And the thing that struck me, I think it was the last one we read, the last thing he put in the end of the paragraph was, "Thank you for helping me feel normal." I thought, if we're helping one person feel normal, then we can't stop doing this. And kind of at that point, everything fell into place like it does when you're doing things for the right reason. And Will found some editing software that cut his time down to like a third of it. So we were able to continue to do this, but also have that time that we also wanted with our family.
Yeah, because I think people don't realize how much time it actually takes.
Mm-hmm.
It is an investment for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, cool. So let's see. Where do we want to go from here? You sent me a beautiful list of topics to cover. And so let's just start with sort of the journey from the podcast to your new platform, New Reality TV. And I think from what I read, it sounds like it should be, and you've designed it to be a place of like getting away from all the fear-based content that's out there right now. And I'm sure if anyone's listening to this show, then I hope this show can also be a beacon of escaping from that, just the fear cycle. And so tell us a little bit about that and that evolution.
Well, there is so much of that fear mongering out there and sensationalizing. And, you're looking on YouTube and you find your meditation, and right after that, it's cut through with some demonic possession and the guy is throwing up and all of this stuff. And people, it piques your curiosity and you look at that, but it leaves you with such a negative, feeling, negative energy. And we've got that in everything. It feels like these days life is really, really tough. So we wanted to take that one little review, that guy saying, thank you for helping me feel normal. We know there are many more people out there like that are looking for something that they can fit into. So we thought we have our little show that people are really resonating with. And all of these people that we interview have their shows too. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them do. And, I always say it's like holding up a little light in the darkness. And you're trying really hard with your little candle to light up the whole world, but it's just a little candle. So our goal with New Reality TV is to unite all of these candles all over. And we are literally, our content partners are global, and just create a big, beautiful beacon of light so that people can't help but see us. And they'll know, this is a safe haven. You come here, you can watch whatever show. The next show will never be about anything, horrible or frightening. We do understand that in the process of healing, sometimes ugly things come out, and that's fine. We don't hide from that. We're not trying to avoid that, but as long as it's done in the interest of healing or betterment, that's okay. It's not just like, oh, look at how scary this is. Right. So
yeah, it's not clickbait, right? A lot of people, even in this space, actually will do some sensational thing that makes you feel fear. I've got to watch this because it's a scary thing. I need to find out what this scary thing is. So a lot of people will use that to get clicks, and it works. It works. YouTube will reward you for doing that kind of thing. I used to work in news, and right, the whole cliche of if it bleeds, it leads, that kind of stuff, it's only gotten worse. So everywhere you look, that fear response, they're trying to get that from you, so that they can win, so they can profit off of you. And we don't want that. We don't resonate with that. Our goal is to help raise the consciousness of the planet, not to get a ton of clicks. So everyone who comes on board with us as content partners understands that. And we're all rowing in the same direction in the interest of no fear, no politics, no divisiveness, no disparaging of other modalities or people. Or we're just here so people who come and join New Reality can know for a fact that they are not going to be triggered. You might be triggered, but it's triggered in a way that's going to give you a solution to solve it, to heal it.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, speaking of, the big platform and the algorithm, and, it might be someone that you follow and is light, for the most part, but then they'll come out with like these taglines, and it's like, the next whatever thing for 2025, and it's like, well, because here's the thing, because I believe in the law of attraction, and like where you put your energy is, it's like, so if we do feel like, if we believe that we are as powerful as that we say that we are in terms of being the creators of our universe, then why would you want to bring however thousands of viewers and followers that you have on these platforms to a place of fear and negativity? Like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. And so I usually am probably one of the few people that, like, I keep on scrolling. Like, I'm not clicking on that because I don't, like, that's not going to be my reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not thousands. Sometimes it's millions of people.
Right. Yes. Sorry. I very much lowballed it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I guess just, I think when you have people in that state of fear, it gives you a certain amount of power or a certain amount of control. And that's not what we want. We want people to be able to realize their own power.
Yeah, when you think about it, how much money has fear actually generated? Like billions of dollars, billions of dollars.
I would say trillions even.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, just look at our government. Come on.
Just look at our government. Yeah. Look at our healthcare. Look at our pharmaceutical systems. Look at even in this space. There are some big podcasters, content creators that utilize that fear to monetize it, and that's unfortunate, because that's a very good point, that what you pay attention to, you bring out, you bring forth. And so if you are clicking on all these things that are meant to trigger a fear response, you're going to be perpetually stuck in that. So people profit off it, and they do it on purpose, and it's really sad.
Yeah, but so I'm so glad and I'm so grateful that you are actually in the business of empowering people and helping them, sort of wake up and think critically and think for themselves. I'd like to say that I'm in that business as well, or that service, maybe more of like a service than, because to me, it's not about the almighty dollar. It actually is like how many. Even if you tune in here and you don't agree with anything I say, if I've gotten you to actually question and think about it, then I think that's a win.
Yeah, no question about
it. So I love one of these. One of the questions that you included in the show notes that I request for all my guests is where do you see the biggest need in humanity right now? I just thought that was like a beautiful question, and it's so big too. I'm like, what a great perspective to even be thinking about. So what is that for you?
I mean, you know what it is.
You came up with the question, so.
So the very biggest need right now is, I mean, I guess the best word to use is empathy, right? For the other person. It's love is a reconnection with who we are. We're so disconnected.
We're so isolated.
We're so isolated. The sad thing is that the more that we fall down the rabbit hole of the 3D world, and it is everywhere, we're being thrust into it from all directions, the more disconnected we become. So it's easy nowadays to scroll on your social media feed and assign an us versus them mentality. And sometimes that's necessary. But for the most part, if you were able to have empathy for the person across from you, or sitting next to you, or on the other side of the world from you, you might find that you and that person are one. And there's so many more similarities than differences that just put down the fear. Again, we're back to fear. Put down the fear and love the person that you're sitting across, because at the end of the day, you're really just loving yourself.
Yeah. Do you have something to add, Karen, or?
Well, just it's people, I think, try to like categorize or put love into a little box. This is what it is. And you can't. It is so much more beyond that. It could never fit into any sort of box. And there are so many different types of loves and so many different ways to express it. And it's so easy, and it can be hard. And it's an oxymoron, but it's the, you know, and I think if you don't limit it, it's not just mother to daughter. It's not just a relationship, but you can love how you feel one day. You can love the feeling of the breeze going through your hair, and that feels really good, and it makes you smile. And that's an expression of love. And I think it's so easy to share that. You see someone on the street and they're wearing some kind of crazy outfit that's all these colors, you know, but you know, they spent time picking that out because they like it. So how hard is it to say, wow, you look great today? And that makes their day. And then they feel that love and they spread that love. And that's what I think we need more of. People feeling brave enough to make these small expressions of love.
And tolerance, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah. I think a big piece of it is compassion. But that to me, that is also, like you said, like another aspect or piece of love itself. And I think so many of us, when we think of love, what we've been shown or taught, unfortunately, is transactional. Like, if I do this and I get love, you know, from, you know, if I get these grades, then I get, you know, acknowledgement and love for my parents, or you know, whatever it is. If I act this way, then I will be, you know, like acknowledged in my, you know, spiritual or religious group that I'm a part of, or, you know, like whatever it is. And, you know, it's always like a tit for tat. It's something for something else, instead of this really like unconditional, non-judgmental, just way to look at the world and the way to look at life. And it's like, ask yourself, like, if when you see someone acting in a way that maybe you question or you find yourself judging, sort of like, I think it's a good idea to be like, well, what must they be going through in order to act like that, or to say that, or to do that? And I think that really helps cultivate that compassion, because it is something that has to be cultivated, because like I said, unfortunately, and this isn't just this lifetime, I think we've had, you know, eons of lifetimes, unfortunately, of this conditioning. And it's something that we bring through sort of in our, but I also feel like so many of us, if not all of us, chose to be incarnated in this time, in this place right now on the planet, to be a part of that awakening, and that a part of that remembering of what the real love, the unconditional love, and all of those other things that factor into it, like that compassion and that non-judgment. And anyway, so
and if you love everyone, then it goes. That's why I mentioned tolerance, because we believe, like you mentioned, we are the creators of our own reality, right? So we were just on a call earlier today where a couple were talking about this argument that they had, where she said to him, "I can't believe you said that to me." And he fervently said, "I didn't say that." And she insisted, "Absolutely, you absolutely did." He's like, I would never say that. That's not even me in any way, shape, or form." And she insisted, "But you definitely said that." So they compared notes, and he asked her, "Where were you sitting?" And she said, "I was sitting across from you." And he goes, "No, you weren't. The whole time you were sitting next to me. You moved over to sit next to me." And suddenly they realized they were in different timelines. They were remembering things differently. And because they weren't living the same reality at that particular point in time, they had different experiences. So much of this could be maybe laid at the feet of, you're looking at reality differently than the person next to you. And if you don't understand that, if you don't believe that, if you don't live that, then it could cause all kinds of problems. So the person that's on the street talking to themselves in a very loud voice is scary when you're walking next to them, but maybe they're in a separate reality somewhere. So having tolerance, having compassion for them is the way to help them to feel love, and for you to feel love yourself by loving somebody else.
And it's so much easier.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe not at first, maybe getting to the habit of, you know, okay, they're probably going through something. But once you make that a habit, you know, you have that thought that you get frustrated, then you're like, okay, you know, they're having a rough life, whatever. And you keep on your day. But otherwise you can just like festering. Like, I can't believe they cut me off in traffic. Oh my God, what a jerk. This guy's a jerk too. Now look at this. And you're in a bad mood and you get home and you're, all because of something that really had nothing to do with you in the first place.
No, fair to say, though, there are a lot of jerks out there. Let's just put it plainly out there.
Well, yeah, but sometimes the people that are seeming like the biggest jerks are actually just going through some really awful stuff.
Absolutely.
And people are typically jerks for a reason.
Yeah.
Like maybe they had a bad childhood. I mean,
I was teasing.
I know, but side eye.
Right, there it is. Oh my gosh, so true. Well, I think so. Let's move in since you brought it up, and I love this. Let's talk about 3D versus 5D, and or acknowledging that there is such a thing as parallel universes, and they're all happening at the exact same time, and it is possible to walk or jump where if you want to label it like quantum jumping from one to the other.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. I think it's fascinating. So
we got some stories for you then.
oh good. Let's hear it.
Yeah. I think you should start with yours.
Start
Yeah.
with mine. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of the things that's taken me a little longer to really not wrap my head around, but be on board with.
We should clarify right up front. Most people, when they hear the show, think that Karen and I's belief systems are the same. They think that we think the same way. We believe the same things, and that could not be further from the truth. Yeah. There's a lot of things that we see very differently because, like we mentioned, we live in different realities. So what's real for me may not necessarily be real for her, and vice
I let
versa.
him be wrong a lot, and it's okay.
We just talked about love, right, and compassion. So she's very, very loving and very compassionate. But so we should clarify that, because I've always thought, because I've experienced some things that made me go, oh, this is absolutely legit. And she's like, yeah, okay, until this.
I'm like, well, that might be your reality. So I don't know, like a month ago or so, Will and our daughter were out doing something. I'm like, well, can you stop by the grocery store? And I gave him a little list of things to pick up. And one of the things was milk, which that's like so stereotypical. Honey, can you get some milk? I never thought about that. Anyway, so I said, honey, can you get some milk? So he comes home and he's got all the stuff. And I was upstairs. I don't know what I was doing. They unpack it and they put it in the fridge. So I come down later and I'm making dinner and I open up the fridge and I go to grab the milk and it's like halfway empty. And I'm like, what the heck? Because he doesn't drink milk. And there's no way my daughter just like chugged down half a thing of milk in like 10 minutes. And I'm holding this. I'm like, how? And then I'm thinking about the people that go to the stores and like lick the ice cream and put it back, and that whole trend that was going. I'm like, oh my God, he got the milk that someone like drank out of. I'm like, and as I'm thinking of this, I'm walking over to like open it up because I know the little plastic thing is gone, and it's getting heavier and heavier in my hand. And by the time I walked to the other counter, it was totally full and totally heavy.
And she opened up the cap, and the cap was there.
Sealed.
It was sealed.
But I picked it up, and it was like I was expecting to be heavy. My hand even went like, whoa, because it was so light. I'm like, what the heck? So that was really weird to me because it was halfway empty. Yeah. So I'm like, well, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, very trippy.
I'm a believer.
Yeah,
it was totally trippy.
So my probably most impactful story took both we were both there.
Okay,
so she experienced it also. We do the show sometimes on location. We take our gear and we set up the microphones and everything there. And this particular point in time, we were doing it at a metaphysical shop that we know locally. And as I was setting up the gear, our microphones connect to their arm by this little nut. It's probably the size of a nickel. It's a thick nut,
a thick nickel
that connects to the mic to the arm. And so when I was putting this thing together, Karen is sitting as she is now, right to my left. We're sitting on chairs.
It was
a couch.
Yes,
okay.
It was kind of lower to the ground.
Right next to each other. And so when you're sitting down, your pockets are kind of folded in on themselves, so it's difficult to put your hands in your pockets or anything like that. But as I'm putting in the microphone, the nut slips off out of my hands, falls down to the ground, bounces, and vanishes. So I look at Karen like, you see where that went? Neither one of us knew, so we weren't looking everywhere. We got down on our hands and knees, it was a big carpet, but you could you could
white,
see.
so you could.
Yeah, could. It would have been really obvious where it was. So we're on our hands and knees looking everywhere. Karen's tearing apart fountains and looking under chairs.
Taking all the rocks apart of this water fountain. It's like this big thing, and I'm dismantling the whole thing. We're pulling the cushions out of the couch.
The owner of the store is on her hands and knees looking. We had an audience at the time. Some of them were helping us look. Long story short, the nut is gone. We can't find it anywhere. It doesn't matter how much we look, we cannot find it anywhere. So I guess we need to do the interview by holding the microphone in our hand. So that's what we did. Did the entire interview like that.
And it's a weird little, just like, not like a handheld microphone.
Right, exactly.
So the audience is like, okay, people, it's not a big deal. It kind of was.
It was a big deal.
It was kind of a pain.
It was a big deal.
In the podcasting world, it is a big deal.
It is a big deal. Yeah. So the interview's over, and I'm starting to break down the gear, and one of the audience members comes to me and says, and it's going to sound weird, but I'm being told that you should look in your pocket. Okay. So I'm trying to be nice and, oh, okay. I mean, we were sitting down. There's no way, right? Our pockets are folded shut. Like there's no way anything could get in there, especially where we were. But
plus your shirt was over your pockets too.
Right. So I'll humor her and just put my hands in my pockets because that was kind of her to come and try to. So I put my hands in my pocket because I'm standing at the time, and I froze because when I brought my hands out of my pocket, in my right hand was that damn nut. There is literally no way on God's green earth that this thing could have bounced on the ground to the left of me and ended up in my right hand pocket as we were sitting down. There's no way. There is literally no earthly way it could have happened. And yet there it was. And I thought about it on the way into the interview. I was having a crisis of faith in this stuff. And I said to the universe, I don't know if this stuff is going to work. I need you to show me like a big ass sign because I'm starting to lose faith because nothing was happening. And lo and behold, smack, sledgehammer to the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I've had, I think the one time recently that I really realized I was out on a trail run and I had my car keys carabinered to my waistband. Okay. Carabinered to like, they're attached. They're not coming off.
Right.
So I'm like 3 miles in and all of a sudden, I don't know why, but I look down and they're gone. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'll just backtrack. I'm sure it was a bright color, like the key fob thing is shiny. No problem. They are nowhere to be found. Nowhere. I traced later. I looked on my, like your little tracker thing. I had done 6 total miles in like this like little square amount of space, like going back and forth looking for those damn that key fob.
You ran a marathon looking for that key.
I did, and I never found it. And when I finally like just surrendered that it was gone, and I went back to the car and started making phone calls because it's a car that you can't drive without it. So there was some definitely troubleshooting there. But at one point I was like, because I'd been listening to these quantum jumping guided meditations and things too. I was like, maybe I just literally ran into a different dimension where the keys just didn't exist anymore.
Yeah. We have another one that just happened.
Which one?
The coat.
Oh, that was weird.
Uh-huh.
That was really
weird. So we just went on an Alaska cruise about a month ago. And we live in Virginia, so it's warm right now. The cruise is in August, so it's hot. But when we go to the Alaska cruise, we were told, well, bring some warm weather or clothes because you're going to be cold by the glaciers. So okay, so all we had was winter coats that we
like the puffy ones.
Yeah, really puffy ones, but they're like down material. So we sat on them. We put them into a clear plastic bag, and we like vacuum packed it, and right, and we sealed them. And
there were 2. One had your coat, one had our daughter's coat.
Right, mine and our daughter's, and we put them into. So she used to be a big backpacker, so she still has a backpack. So we put them into that backpack. We took that with us to Alaska.
So it's the first thing we put in.
So it's on the very bottom of the thing, both coats in the bottom of the thing. And so in case, if we need them, they'll be there. If we don't need them, they're in the bottom. They're not going to get in the way. So we go to Alaska and we go through Seattle. We spent some time in Seattle, which was wonderful. Go the whole trip in Alaska. I pulled out my coat when I packed it, but I didn't pull anything else out. We never used it. We got back to Seattle, and then suddenly we realized, oh my God, where's our daughter's coat? Our daughter's name is Sienna. Where is Sienna's coat? We searched.
I think we realized on the ship. It was before we packed. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
As we're packing to leave the ship.
Yeah.
Right.
What the heck?
So where is this coat?
And you know, those staterooms are like this big.
Yeah, they're very small.
There's not a lot of places it could be.
So we triple checked every suitcase. We checked the closets, the drawers, the bathrooms, the balcony, everything. It's like, where under the beds? We looked everywhere. This coat is nowhere. So we thought, okay, we must have left it at the hotel in Seattle. So we got back to Seattle. We went back to the hotel. We caused a big fuss. Like, we know we left it here. You know, it's really, we just want the coat back. Right. And we went back like 3 times.
Like, you have to log in on this thing online and like
right.
all this stuff. And what's it's crazy.
So
we went to 2 different hotels.
Yes.
2 different hotels.
So again, long story short, I know it's too late, but
we give up.
Yeah.
We're like, oh well. We're getting another coat.
None of the hotels have
it. Is what it is.
Right? So we get home and we start unpacking our bags.
Yeah. And so I walk into our closet, and our house has kind of high ceilings, and we put our suitcases up on the top shelf. And so I'm looking to put my suitcase up, and I see something on the top shelf, like kind of in a weird angle. So I reach up there and I grab it, and it's the freaking bag with her coat in it,
which we had put on the bottom of the backpack to take to Alaska.
Like together. We both saw that we did that together.
Yeah.
I know. Crazy. I mean, life is so much fun, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
And getting more fun by the minute.
And then there's like the little things. Like I went to walk my dog yesterday, and this will be quick. But it was a beautiful day, and we live by the water. It's called the Hague. It's like this little kind of canal thing. And I see this little fish jump, and it just makes me laugh because they look so silly. They're like all sideways, jumping out there. And I'm like, so I said to the universe, I'd like to see another one. And I look and I don't see anything. So then I forget about it. And I continue the walk. We walk about a mile, and we come back, and I look at the water, and it was weird because it was a sunny day, but there was only one patch of like waves that were rough
like
and
ripples,
getting,
right?
yeah, it was like a patch of ripples, like when you see a bunch of fish or something, but it wasn't. But it was the sun shining on this one patch, nothing else. And all of a sudden, boom, the fish jumps up out of that patch. And I'm like, I was supposed to look, that's like they wanted me to look there at that time so that I could see this fish jump. But it was the sunlight that attracted me to it. So it's just simple little things, but I'm like, I took it. I'll take it. I will take that. That was a pretty little thing,
We have so many stories like that.
Yeah.
I
know. Me too. I could go on forever.
Yeah.
But so then how did a butterfly teach you that we're all connected?
Gosh.
Little tie-in.
Yeah, that's another story. Sorry, Karen. My brother got married in Colorado. So as people do right after the wedding, the next day, the whole wedding party goes whitewater rafting, don't they? Right?
Of course.
So
I live in Tahoe, so that sounds about right.
Okay, right. So we went whitewater rafting, and the whitewaters were Cat 4, Cat 5, so they're no joke.
Nice.
And we were, in the middle of the big whitewaters. You are so focused because you're trying not to die, and you're really like everybody in the boat is just singularly focused, and then it's followed by this really calm patch of water afterwards, after it's been rough. And just when you catch your breath, also know, here we go again, with the whitewaters again, right? And you're back to being focused. Well, in one particular time, we had just gotten through a really rough patch where we thought we were going to lose people because it was really difficult. And then we went to this calm area again, and everyone was like super relieved. And as we're watching, this butterfly comes flitting down, and everyone is on, we had 2 boats, and everyone on both boats were like, oh, and putting up their fingers. They trying to get the butterfly to land on their finger. And I'm like, oh, come on. There's no way this butterfly is going to land on anyone's finger. But something inside me said, put up your finger. It's going to land on yours. So before I knew it, my finger was up in the air, and this thing, I'll be damned, landed right on my finger. And so in that moment, everything fell away. All I could hear was like the Charlie Brown, but later found out everyone's going, oh my God, it's amazing. How'd you get to land on your finger? But at that exact moment, that butterfly and I were locking eyes, and there was nothing else in the world except for that butterfly and me, and we were one. We were so connected that it showed me that the butterfly, me, the water, the canyon walls, the boat we were in, the people around me, we were all connected. It was all just one thing, that when we allowed ourselves to connect, we are given a glimpse of how indelibly connected we all are. And then as soon as it came to me, that connection broke and it just flitted away, and we're back to normal. And since that day, I've been trying to find that feeling, because I've never felt it since. I had never felt it before. And I've carried that story with me my entire life after that, because there is zero doubt that we are one. That butterfly looked me in the eye and taught me that. I know it sounds weird, but
no, it sounds beautiful. I totally believe it. I agree. Like, I believe that we're all connected. I mean, even if we just take it back to, like bio and chem and physics 101 of each of those three modalities, we can totally prove and talk about on the scientific level, like how we're all connected and made up of the same stuff as the stars and the earth and, all the things.
Yep.
But I would actually say you can create that feeling anytime, since you already experienced it, you lived through it. Anytime in your meditation, you can get right back there.
I've tried and tried. No, so there's something about me that kind of irks Karen. Well, there's many things about me that irks Karen, but I better say it before she does.
I wasn't going to say anything.
But no, you didn't have to. But there's one thing that she'll say is that when I'm singularly focused on something, I want it too much. I try too hard, and it inevitably fails to materialize because it's too much.
Well, and I think in this instance, you feel like it's dependent on some sort of outside force.
Yes.
And it's not.
The butterfly was what it was. The butterfly was the thing that made it happen.
It was Dumbo's little feather. It wasn't the thing that made it happen.
Damn you and your wisdom.
Right? Yeah. No, I mean, I also am fresh out of a week-long Joe Dispenza retreat too. So that's why I'm also like, you can totally recreate this feeling, the whole thing. Like, you've got this. I believe in you. I believe in the power of all of us and what we're able to do with our minds. But again, like you said, Karen, like, it is a matter of, there is a piece of surrender to that, because we also, as humans, and that like little monkey mind that we have as part of our magnificent brain, has to, instead of that over analyzing piece, let go of that and just focus on the feeling and all of those things that you felt and to be true in your heart, that also are actual universal truths. And in that one moment, you had that aha, that awakening, that epiphany.
You know what? Actually, it just occurred to me. I did have one time after that. Remember in the airport when I texted you and told you? But anyway, in the Atlanta airport of all places, and that place is a madhouse.
Oh God, that's
like our wedding.
I just came through there actually.
With my daughter.
Yeah.
No, for some reason I was walking down in the terminal of Atlanta, and it hit me. All of a sudden, I was looking around at all these massive amounts of people, and it was just a massive amount of me walking around in different energy form, different everythings. Now, here's something that a place where Karen and I differ in our belief systems. I very firmly believe that I saw me in many different forms. She doesn't think that's not really her reality. You want to speak to that?
Well, you think that we're all just one
that was
I think
split.
we're all connected, but I don't think it's necessarily one.
Right.
Like that, I think I told you about that vision that I had. It was like this really beautiful, shimmery kind of sphere made of almost like spider webby. All these different millions of different connections. And I think that's kind of what we are, those little points in the different connections that all come together to create this big, beautiful sphere.
Mm.
So we're one, but we're separate. We all think we're all the same thing.
I think you're both right.
Of course you do.
Well, because I think it depends on which dimension that we're existing in. So I
Right.
think, in like the 3 and 4, then Karen's, description is yes. But then I think as we, with our consciousness sort of maybe start to, I don't want to say evolve, but
Ascend.
yeah, or I was thinking for the word escalate. I don't know why. Out of, to that next level of consciousness and awareness, then we start to understand that, we came from the ether, the oneness and the nothingness all at the same time to incarnate here in the physical. And when we are done with that, whatever that is for all of us, then we go back to the one. I see it more as like a consciousness, like we're all, I don't know.
Yep. I forgot who it was, Lee Harris. I forgot who it was that I just heard say that we're all one, but we're separate. So
No, that was just me. I just said it like just 2 minutes ago.
yeah, I think someone very wise said that, and I can't remember who. Yeah, it's going to come to me at some point. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's really we won't know, and that's the beauty of this, right? That it's okay not to know. The mystery is the fun part, is the speculating and the conversation that we're having and the discussions and the what ifs. That's the fun part. And I spent most of my life needing an answer. That's probably the biggest change that I've experienced over the last 4 years of doing the show is I don't know that I necessarily need an answer. I like an answer, but I also have come to the realization that we're never going to have a complete answer. It's impossible. We talk a lot about our consciousness, who we are is way, way too big to be contained into this body. So we created these brains to act as filters so that we don't overwhelm ourselves with our immenseness. Our brains filter us into a level that we can actually deal with in this three-dimensional world. And when we pass beyond, that filter is no longer there. So now we experience our grandness again. And that's what happens sometimes when people have accidents or near-death experiences or things happen that shifts that filter a little bit and lets in a little bit more of who we are. And so that I completely forgot what we were talking about.
you just jumped around.
I did. What were you just talking about?
We were talking about the oneness and the consciousness
and getting the answer.
And how we're all
yeah. So because I have my brain hasn't had any reasons to shift.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
It just shifted.
Okay. So because my brain is what it is and it's filtering out everything, I know that I'm not going to be able to have all of the answers. It's too big for me to be able to process it in this three-dimensional reality that I'm currently existing in. So that realization, knowing that, helps me to then say, okay, I'm not going to know, but it's cool to think about it and speculate.
And I think it's better to not know, because it's kind of like, like doing the Rubik's Cube. You can play with that thing for hours and try to get it and but if you know the solution and you get it, then you're done and it's not fun anymore. So if we know the answer, I don't know, what's after that?
No, that's a fair point. And also, we came here for a reason. We came here to experience ourselves, our grandness in its entirety, and have these human experiences so that we come back and we can then add that to the collective experiences. If we knew, it would be just going through the motions. We wouldn't be learning anything. We wouldn't be experiencing anything. So I get it, but I'd still like to have the answers. It still would be cool to have it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, from just all a bunch of different teachers that I've listened to over the years, and downloaded even messages from my guides and angels and my different channelings. There is no other place like this earth and this dimension anywhere else. So even if we incarnated as a different being in a different star system, like we wouldn't emote, we wouldn't have the same ability to have the same feelings, or this, and that contrast, the light and the dark, the sadness, the happiness, the joy, the fun, the freedom, or the self-imposed constraints that we also put on ourselves sometimes. And so, yeah, what an amazing thing that our soul did by choosing this for us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've heard it say that this is the toughest, right? This is the hard school. People volunteer to come here because it is the place where you get to evolve the fastest, because you go through so many experiences like that you're going through. So there's a long line. We were lucky to have been able to come down and have this experience, and everyone else is really jealous of us right now.
I think I was voluntold.
Yeah, no, you were. Actually, did I mention she's an angel walking on this planet? She got kicked out. Oh God, go down there and help this poor slob who needs all the help he can get.
I think there's a lot of souls that were voluntold, and or it's very interesting. So let's see, we've covered a lot of ground today, and where would you like to go next? We haven't really talked a lot about your platform, so I feel like maybe now's the time.
Sure. Yeah, we can talk about it. So new reality TV is it's like Netflix meets Gaia without the fear. We talked a lot about the fear response, the YouTube stuff. Same with Gaia is a really great platform, but it does have some things that we maybe don't resonate with as strongly as others. So we want it to be a safe place for people to come and know that they're not going to be fed fear response stuff, things like that. But it is a global content partners.
It's a global community, because it really has become this just incredible community. People all over the world, from Thailand to Finland, Portugal, we have Australia, UK, I mean, just all over the world.
Thailand, Alaska. Yeah. And so we believe in one thing that we do have in common in our belief systems is the one truth, many paths thought process, right? That modality. So we wanted to bring together as many different paths as possible. So when people come to New Reality TV, they can explore in a safe space. So we have a cross section of people that come to the platform. We have those that are just starting out in their explorations and they're learning things. And there are those that are way far advanced and are looking into other modalities or following that rabbit hole deeper in something that they already know, because it offers all of that. There's television shows, there's films, documentaries, there's shorts, there is everything. There's a 24-hour broadcast that is constantly, you just go to the platform, hit live broadcast, and we'll be serving you as like regular TV. So if you don't know what to watch first, you go watch the broadcast and go, oh, I like this show. And then you go into the platform and consume the back catalog of that show, because it's all there for you available.
Yeah, and we have, so not only do we have different modalities, but we have different people within those modalities. Like say you don't really resonate with this medium, well, hey, there's another one. Maybe this one's a man, this one's a woman, this older, younger, whatever. We have a little bit of everything, and we're looking to increase that. We do meet with everyone for quite some time to really get their story. We vet them. We don't want someone that's up there just trying to sell their books. Right. If you have a book, great. Yes, absolutely promote your book, but don't make that your whole show about, hey, buy my book. It's like, give us more than that. Do something that's going to help the people. And that's what they have done. Our content, we call them partners because we really feel like we're all in this together. They've really embraced that concept of helping shine those lights that we talked about earlier. And in fact, we did, a while ago, we did a summit because we launched in January. So it's been a little while and we were trying to figure out the bugs. So we thought, well, we'll do a summit and make it kind of low cost, but this way we can get them some money for all this work that they've been doing. And so we were talking about it with them and all the different people that wanted to be involved. And then one of them said, well, do we have to charge for this? And then they were chiming in, I don't want to charge. Yeah, let's not charge. Let's do it free. So we had this weekend-long summit. We had 8 different people. No, we had
8 per day.
Yeah, 8 per day. So we had 16 different people taking time out of their day to come up there, talk to people, interact because it was live, and just do this beautiful service, just completely free out of the goodness of their hearts.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of people that are creating content for New Reality TV.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool. And it's newrealitytv.com.
Yes.
And then your podcast, your show, you're still doing that, correct?
Yes.
We are, yeah, and it's one of the shows that's on the platform. So it's probably important to call out. There's all different types of production quality level shows there. We have some that are like first class drone footage and all that kind of stuff. Looks like real Hollywood production value, and then we have the modest, just 2-box interviews, like video podcast. And we do that on purpose because one of our taglines is regular people going through spiritual awakenings, helping other regular people going through spiritual awakenings. So we don't have the Joe Dispenzas, we don't have the Greg Bradens or the Bruce Liptons by design, because we are wanting people to connect to one another. Those other people, Dispenza, Braden, Lipton, those are incredible teachers, but they're teachers and they're standing up there in their pulpit and they're talking to you. And there's not a lot of chance that you're going to be able to spend a weekend with them and just kind of have a conversation with them. We wanted people to have the ability to have access to the people that are on our platform. So it's everyone learning from each other.
And one of the things that we like specifically about the shows that are less produced is that when you're, so, you know, COVID, everything locked down, everyone got on Zoom, everyone got online. And it's almost like it's comfortable for a lot of people, but it's also someone that looks just like you. You know, it's like that guy's on his camera on having this conversation on Zoom. You know, he'd probably talk to me. We could probably hang out and you can resonate, you can click. You know, where sometimes the higher production, it's like, wow, I'm learning so much, but sometimes you want to feel like you could actually reach out to that person. And with a lot of our content partners, they'll give you their contact information right on the show. So you actually can reach right out to them.
Right. And that's not to say we don't want good quality content. We do.
And we have good quality.
And we don't, and we typically, there's a certain level that you have to be at to be able to be involved with New Reality TV. Right? We're constantly trying to improve that content, the production value of our shows on our platform. But the most important thing is not how slickly is this produced, but rather what's the message, right? Can I connect with that message? And that's what sets us apart, I think, from Gaia.
Well, and like you said at the very beginning, you know, creating that connection and helping people feel connected, so that, because a lot of times when you are going through an awakening, you can feel like you're alone. Like, who am I going to talk to about this crazy thing that just happened to me?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think one of the reasons why our content partners are spread out across the world is because I think we were strategically placed in different places of the world so that we could be able to bring all areas of the world into this.
I think we just need South America. I don't think we have a South American.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so because we're so disconnected, because we're placed in such strategically placed places around the globe, we brought the community together so that we can now, even though we're super far apart from each other, we can come together as one community. That's really what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And then the Skeptic Metaphysicians is just one of the shows on there. And it is a very different type of show where a lot of these shows are very straightforward. Karen and I, as you can tell, our personalities are pretty strong and we like to have fun with the topic. We love each other dearly, but we tease, we have fun with it. Take the topic seriously, but ourselves we play with. So we
sorry.
It's a good thing.
Sounded funny.
Yeah, well, anyway, so if you're looking for this type of content where you can listen to it with a smile on your face, this might be the right place for you. It's the Skeptic Metaphysicians.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for both of your time and all the work that you're doing in the world. I am so grateful and so happy that you're doing it and bringing people together in, all the myriad of ways as well, that it doesn't have to look a certain way in order for it to be valuable. And I think that's really important.
Absolutely.
So anything else that you would like to leave us with before we wrap up?
No, just make those little gestures of love. A little goes a long way.
For me, the parting gift, I will say, is coming from a reformed skeptic, is all you need to do is allow yourself to believe that something could be possible. If you go through life thinking, yeah, there's no way, that's bullshit, there's no way this is real, then for sure, it's not going to be real for you. But if you allow just the possibility, then the universe is going to go, oh, that door is slightly open. Let me show them something. And then little by little, it's going to show you a world of mystery that you've never imagined. So allow yourself just that little bit of possibility, and it will change your life.
So true. So true. Just the slightest little willingness. Yeah.
Dang. Can I change
Awesome.
mine?
All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been fun, which, life should be fun. So,
Yeah.
So much fun.
I'm so glad to have you both on the show today, and to bring, more people to your platforms and awareness.
Thank you.
Grow that awareness. So
Thank you.
anyway, so yeah, everybody check out their show on the newrealitytv.com. And we'll have you back, because there was, a lot that we didn't get to talk about. So
Sounds good. Thank you so much
Anytime.
thanks so much for hosting us.
yeah, thank you, everybody, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you for joining me on LightBody Radio, where functional medicine meets intuitive healing and transformation happens on every level. If this episode resonated with you, please like, share, and if you're ready to go deeper, visit drlaramay.com to book a functional medicine consultation or an intuitive healing session. Whether you need to rebalance your body, clear your energetic blocks, or reconnect with your soul's purpose, I've got you. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Dr. Lara May for daily inspiration, energy updates, and healing tools. Remember, your healing is multidimensional, and so are you. Until next time, honor your body, trust your intuition, and activate your light.